Hello folks, this is K&W Railroader here, or Alan if you'd like to call me that instead, that's fine. I'm going to try a new video series of how I do stuff for the model railroad. Definitely not going to try to recommend any way that I do or process that I do anything. I'm still fairly new to especially a lot of the scenery type stuff. There's lots of great videos out there on especially instructional videos on how to do things. So I'm definitely not going to try to get into that, but I am going to just show you how I do some things because some people have asked. So this is my first attempt, and what we're going to talk about here is how I carve this foam. And you can see, probably tell here, this is the Royal Gorge route on my layout, and this is the 1-inch foam that's all been glued together and stacked up. And so what I'm going to do here is show you how I carve it and try to make it look like a rock face. And there's lots of other people that do it this way. I'm definitely not the first. This is where I've got the idea from others. But basically, I've got a sharp X-Acto knife here, and all I'm trying to do is eliminate all of the man-made looking aspects of the wall, straight lines, perfect vertical gaps, stuff like that. And I found that's the easiest in order to how I can tell I've gotten done with a section. And you can kind of see that section is fairly done. I'll go back in and fill some gaps with maybe some joint compound like I've started to do over here. And maybe the layers in between, I'll try to cover those up with something. But for now, I'm just trying to get this carved so it looks like something. So anyway, I'm just going to show you how I do that. And what I do is I just start, and you can see how this part's projecting out. So I'm going to trim that back some by just inserting my knife at an angle in both X and Y axes. Slide it in there, slice at a different depth, and then come back and follow it, rotate my wrist, and just cut it out like that. And then you've got a piece that falls out like that. And since this projects out quite a bit, try to keep the camera on the action here. I'm going to go ahead and trim this back quite a bit. And I'm just trying not to do the same cut twice. So there's different angles to it and different depths. Again, you're trying to mimic nature here, and there's no perfection to nature, or at least not when it comes to cutting rocks up. And you can kind of see how I'm going at it. And then after a while, I'll switch hands just to vary the angles even more. And I've seen a lot of people will go through and they'll just do lots of these slices like this and then come back and slice in the other direction. I found it's easier for me to just go ahead and do one cut and then follow up with the other angle to cut that out. If I do a whole bunch of slices, then I lose track of some of them and they don't get cut, and then it looks like somebody has come into a giant rock wall with a razor knife and just done that. So I've been following up every time, cleaning that out, because then I can come back in and modify a little bit by going over the same spot, going in at a different depth, at a different angle. And a lot of it is just this over and over and over again. It does wear the arm and the hand out a little bit here and there, so that's another reason why I switch hands. But anyway, you can just see I'm just going back and forth, and you can see what this is creating is these rock cuts where over time ice and water has worn sections of the rock away to the point where it just collapses in these big pieces just like that. And so what I'm going to do is just continue working on this process until what I feel like I've gotten rid of all these man-made looking angles. Back and forth, back and forth. And then I will use different knives. I'll use a knife with a serrated edge to kind of create a little rougher cut. But the other key is just making sure you go in at different depths and different angles all the time so that you get different looks and it doesn't look like the same thing over and over again. Anyway, that's how I've been carving this foam. Clearly not done yet. I have a lot of work to do, so it remains to be seen if it turns out like anything. But I like the look so far on my test sample. And I'll just show you again for people who haven't seen. I have painted up a little bit. I'm still working on different paint colors. Going back and cutting a little bit extra out. Going back in with some joint compound just to fill some gaps that still look kind of fake. But anyway, this is what I'm working on. We'll see if this new series has any value, if this helps explain how I do anything. we'll see. Leave some comments below if you like this kind of thing, or if it's even helpful to you at all. And I'll try to do some other different things, like maybe laying ballast or something like that. But we'll try this out, see how it goes, and thanks for watching.